Hi to everyone, my name is Ane and I'm in my last year of my PhD, which consists of trying to assess the Bay of Biscay ecosystem using an Atlantis model. Some of you may know, but the Bay of Biscay is a gulf of the Atlantic Ocean located off the western coast of France and the northern coast of Spain. The goal of implementing an Atlantis model in the Bay of Biscay was to first characterize the structure and functioning of the whole ecosystem in 3 dimensions. Nowadays, there is not any 3-dimensional model developed in the Bay of Biscay. Second, analyze the effects of fishing pressure in the Bay of Biscay. And lastly, to explore the effects of sea warming and climate change on the ecosystem, analyzing the evolution of the species. In each step, we would like to compare the Atlantis and the EcoPath with EcoSim model that is being developed at the same time in the area using same functional groups and same initial data, so that we can identify the results robust to model formulation. But today I will show you the parameterization and calibration of the model. The area was divided into 36 boxes and 6 vertical layers, divided into 5 water columns and 1 sediment layer. The model comprises 54 functional groups, among which are 31 vertebrate groups, divided into two groups of seabirds, 2 groups of cetaceans, and also 4 groups of elasmobranchs, and 23 groups of fishes, and also 16 groups of invertebrates, among which are 4 groups of zooplankton and 3 groups of primary producers. To be honest, at the beginning the model was a complete disaster. Almost all the groups were collapsing, so our head and computer was about to explode, mainly our head. So we start first calibrating the simplified nutrient, phytoplankton, zooplankton, and detrital matter. During this process, the cannibalism and the links between the zooplankton groups were very important, having to modify all the diet links, mainly the diet for macrozooplankton. The invertebrate groups also had a great impact in all the groups, therefore we weren't able to get the biomass within the limits, but tried to get reasonable biomass values, based on the initial biomass obtained from surveys or published data. The migrator groups had been challenging. We were able to calibrate the 2 seabird groups, but we had to change the spawning time when they are within the model domain. In the case of the mackerels, we got reasonable biomass values, but not a good weight at age distribution for adults. In the case of the 2 tuna groups, the adults stayed outside the model domain the whole year, so we decided to send adults away for all but 1 day option. For bluefin tuna, we got a reasonable biomass, but odd weight at age distribution. But in the case of the albacore, same happens. We got good biomass pattern, but not a good weight at age distribution. So to end with this talk, that I'm seeing that I'm going really fast. I would like to highlight that during the calibration process, we saw that the cannibalism among the zooplankton groups and some diet links between the zooplankton and phytoplankton groups needed lower values. The invertebrates had a high impact among the groups included in the model, and we need to modify quite a lot diet values, so that the information from stomach content we had to initialize the model wasn't enough. Therefore, a sensitivity analysis could help us analyze more deeper these issues and give trust to the model. About the migratory species, we weren't able to calibrate. I know that the migrators are really challenging in Atlantis, so I hope that during this week I will learn a lot from your experience with your models, and so that I can improve my model. Taking into account what we learned during the calibration process, now we are doing a sensitivity analysis, including the key species identified during the calibration process, with the parameter most tuned during this process, that are mainly the maximum growth rate, mortality, the recruitment, and also the diet information. That we are thinking of changing this diet information using the EcoPath with EcoSim model, because I know that my colleague had also tuned this diet information to get a reasonable output. So I think it will be great to use that information. And to make a sensitivity analysis plan, we are using the Morris screening approach to obtain all the possible combination with the species and parameters we wanted to include in the sensitivity analysis. So that was all for my part. Thanks a lot for listening, Eskerrik asko. And I will really appreciate all your feedback, your comments, your suggestions to improve my model. Thanks a lot again, and see you during this week.